Good day, everybody. We're up to Perek Zayin in Sanhedrin, Mishnah Ches. The Mishnayos continue on in elaborating on the list that we saw initially in the Perek about those that are mechuyav, those that are mechuyve skila. So the next avera that the Mishnah listed in Mishnah Daled that is punished by skila, by stoning, is a mechalel es Shabbos. A mechalel es Shabbos, someone who violates the Shabbos. Somebody who's mechalel Shabbos. How is that so? How is he mechuyev skila? A mechalel es Shabbos bedavar shechayovim al zedoinoi kores. He's liable for execution only if he does something for which, had he done it on purpose, but without eidim and without asah, that is, he did it on purpose, but without eidim or asah, then he would have been liable to kores, val shigigosoi chatos, and for which, had he done it by mistake, by shoigeg, he would have had to bring a chatas, a korban chatas, a chatas offering. This means that a person is executed for violating Shabbos only if he performs one of the lamites melochos, one of the 39 forbidden activities. Now, these melochos are different from other violations of Shabbos, from other forms of Chilul Shabbos, in that they are punished by kores, if done on purpose, but without eidim and asor, or by the obligation to bring a chatas offering, a korban chatas, if done by mistake, by shoigeg. But should a person do one of these melochos on purpose in front of witnesses after having received the warning asor, then he is sentenced to skila. Then he is mechuyav misa. However, if a person violates Shabbos in some other way, even if it is an isur d'oraisa, he's not liable to execution. That's pshat in the Mishnah, that Chilul Shabbos mechuyav misa for Chilul Shabbos is only for davar shechayovim al zedoinoi kores v'ashigigosoi chatos. And then the next avera listed is a mekalel aviv v'imoi. So a mekalel aviv v'imoi is somebody who curses his father or his mother. Einoi chayav, he's only liable to execution only ache kalalam b'shem, unless he's only mechuyav misa if he curses them using the name of Hashem. He invokes the name of Hashem together with, in consonance with the curse, with the klala. That is, if he uses any one of the 7 names of the Ribono Shel Olam, one of the 7 names that may not be erased, then he's mechuyav misa. But kilalam b'kinui, if he cursed him using a substitute name of God, a substitute name of God means a kinui, a descriptive form of God. That is Rachum, Chanun, Erechapayim, any one of the kinuim of the Ribono Shel Olam. If he uses them together with the klala, so then Rab Meir mechayev, v'chachamim poiter. Rab Meir says he's still liable to execution because he's invoking God's name, even though not directly the name, but a descriptive of God's name. The Chachamim poitrim, the Chachamim say that he's potur. The Chachamim say that he's potur, which means that according to the Chachamim, even though he's not mechuyev misa, he's not put to death, still in all he receives malchus for having committed the sin of cursing a Jew, not the sin of being mekalel of Ivimoy, but cursing any Jew is mechuyev malchus. Next Mishnah Tes. So the Mishnah is focused on the next sin, which is listed in Mishnah Daled. The next sin, which is listed in Mishnah Daled, is adultery with a betrothed nara, with a nara ameuraso. Usually, someone who commits adultery is sentenced to death by chenek, by strangling. In the case of a nara murasa, of a betrothed nara, the punishment is stoning. Now the Mishnah explains when this applies. When does this apply? Says the Mishnah, Abal nara murasa, someone who cohabits with a betrothed nara, Eino chayav achetehei nara, is not liable to be stoned unless she's a nara, A, besula, a virgin, B, and morasa, a betrothed wife. We'll explain in a minute. Now, let's remember that a bride becomes betrothed, she becomes a morasa, when she does erusin, which is the first of the two acts that creates the bond of marriage. The second act is that of nisuyin. We learned it. We know it. So the word betrothed, the word meorasa, is not strictly accurate, because erusin is more like marriage than ordinarily we would refer to betrothal. Now, the three stages of development in the life of a maturing girl. She's a katana, who is not mechuyev in mitzvahs at all. She's a katana until she reaches the age of 12 and grows 2 public hairs, at which point she becomes a nara. Now she remains a nara for 6 months, after which she becomes a bogeres. She becomes fully mature. Now, if she is younger or older than a nara, so then the punishment for adultery with her is chenek, not skila. In the case of a girl younger than a nara, that is to say a katana, only the man is punished, while she is not punished at all, since she is not a gedola, she's not legally an adult. Now, we said that Eino chayav achetei nara besula moirasa. Moirasa means, in this context, that once she performs nisuyin with her husband, she's no longer betrothed, she's no longer moirasa, but she is fully married. If she then commits adultery, then we already learned that the punishment is chenek. So the Mishnah continues that Aboal Nara Morosa Eino Chayav Achetei Nara Besula Morosa Weiter V'yi Bebeis Havia, and she is still living in her father's house. What does that mean? That a woman stays in her family home, in her parental home, while she is a morosa, while she's a betrothed, moving into her husband's home only after there is a complete marriage, only after there is already nisuid. So the Chachamim learn from the Torah that if her husband or his messengers are bringing her to his house to complete their marriage, to have a full nisuyin, and she committed adultery on the way, so the punishment is chenek, even if nisuyim has not actually been performed. That's what the Rav says. והיא בבית אביה שהיא מסר רב לשלוחי הבעל, הבוא עליה אחר כך, once she leaves, אינה בסקילה אלא בחנק. And then the Mishnah finishes, בואו עליה שניים, if two men cohabited with her, with whom? With a betrothed Nara living in her father's house. So Arishon b'skila. The first one is mechuyav skila because she was still a virgin at the time. Ve'asheni b'chenek. And the second would be put to death by strangling because she was no longer a virgin. She was no longer a virgin when he cohabited with her, and therefore now the oynish is chenek.